So good evening. Thank you so much for being here live. If you are here live, if you are watching on the replay on Facebook, or if you're watching on the replay on YouTube, or if you are listening to the replay on the Acts on This TV audio experience on Spotify or iTunes or Stitcher or SoundCloud or wherever else you get your podcast from, thank you so much for joining us. Do come and get involved with one of these live if you are watching or listening on the replay. We do this every single Monday night, 9 p.m. UK time till 10 p.m. We chew the fat about all things acting, basically. We take Q&A. We recap of some of the features that I've been doing on actonthis.tv with members of actonthis.tv. If you are not a member of actonthis.tv yet and you're an actor looking to take your career to the next level, you need to get involved. And I would recommend anybody who is not a member right now to get a membership before the 2nd of November. You will see on the bottom of the screen right now, if you are watching, it says save 50% on membership until the 2nd of November. And that's because on the 2nd of November, membership prices are increasing for the monthly membership. If you have a membership already, do not worry. This does not mean your membership is going up. Don't do anything with your membership. Just leave it. Don't touch it, right? It will remain the same. You will pay no more. There's been a bit of confusion with people going, oh my God, do I need to get another membership before it goes up? No. If you already have a membership to actonthis.tv, I promised you when you signed up that you would never pay any more than you did when you signed up, and that still remains the case. To this day, I like to reward people. Once you are in, you are in. You get in at a certain price, and that is your price. You will never pay any more. But if you are not in yet, basically you need to get in before the 2nd of November. Midnight the 2nd of November. I think it's literally, is that this time next week? So it'll be midnight this time next week, so like a couple of hours after this broadcast goes out. That will be the last chance to get in this time next week. If you go to actonthis.tv/save, you can find out all about it, and you can also find out how you can get 344 quid's worth of bonuses for free if you go annual. If you basically go, you know what, I'm all in, I'm getting a yearly membership, I'm committing to myself, I'm committing to my acting career, I want to reward you even more for that. So go check that out. But anyone who's got a membership, chill. You are going to just remain exactly the same, all right? So tonight, what I want to cover is who was on the broadcast last week with casting director, like Ireland's biggest casting director, Louise Kiely. I'd been calling her Louise Kiely for 16 months, and not a single person in the industry had ever picked me up for it until I recorded the trailer for our mastermind session last week with Louise, and she went, Ross, it's Kiely, not Keely. I was like, oh my God. Like, it's just embarrassing when you get it wrong, isn't it? But we cleared that up, so I got embarrassed so that you don't have to, basically. If you ever have an audition with Louise, it's Louise Kiely, not Louise Kiely. But she was brilliant. She is known for, loads of incredible programs, but she got an Emmy nomination for the casting for Normal People. Did you see Normal People? I think it came out in April. Stars Daisy Edgar-Jones, Paul Mescal. An incredible love story. I think it's 12 episodes. It was a BBC and Hulu. One of the best things that I've seen in lockdown, just one of the best things I've seen, full stop. If you've ever, basically, if you've ever been in love and you've had your heart ripped out and stamped all over, go watch it because you'll really relate to it. It's a very, very good show. But Louise cast it. She got an Emmy nomination for casting it. It's an incredible show. And we had Louise on for our member-only mastermind session last week, talking all about casting that, her casting process, how you as actors right now can get in front of Louise, and how casting has changed this year. Obviously, of course, casting has changed this year. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Doesn't mean we have to get negative about it. We have to get down about it. Casting continues. Loads of stuff are still being cast. Members in the Acts on This community today have been in touch with me today to say they have got self-tapes and they have got castings for big TV shows today. I won't mention any names in case I can't, but good luck to those people who did message me before. I don't know. One of them might be on the broadcast tonight. I'll see if she is in a minute. If I spot her name, I will ask if she can say what it's for. But loads of stuff's going on, guys, basically. But the way stuff's being cast is changing. Obviously, we're relying a lot more on Zoom, relying a lot more on self-tapes, and we spoke a lot about that in the broadcast. So I want to play out a couple of those clips tonight, 2 or 3 clips from this 2-hour session. So you're going to see 6 minutes of 2 hours tonight. If you want to go and get access to the full recording, again, get your membership to Acts on This. If you are already a member, you'll find it in the members area. I'll show you just very, very quickly. If you are not a member, you'll just be able to see a preview of it over on actonthis.tv here. But if you are a member, click on your members area. And then if you just click into your premium membership here, I am sharing my screen with you, aren't I? I always forget. I go on my web browser and I'm like, am I even sharing this? Yes, I am. And you'll find it at the top there. So our latest 5 features. Click on it and you will find the video version. You'll also find the audio version. I know a lot of people just want to listen to the audio of these features, so you can listen to it while you're in the gym, while you're working out in the morning, you're in the car or whatever. You can do that if you have an Acts on This membership. You can get the audio-only version, you can get the video version. But it's 2 hours of absolute fire, basically. Members of actsonthis.tv got to jump on camera, talk to Louise, put their acting career questions to her, and we spoke all about her office and the 5 members of the casting team in the office. That's what we do on every webinar, and I think it's really crucial that you as an actor don't just know the big name casting director within that office. You need to know who the associates are, you need to know who the assistants are, and you need to be focusing as much as them as you are on your outreach with the main casting director. We've got Amy Hubbard's casting associate, Amy Rain Jackson, on tomorrow evening for members of actsonthis.tv. There's a reason I bring the associates on and the assistants on as well, because they are the casting directors of tomorrow, and they play an integral part in getting you in to see the main casting director. They'll often be the people you see first before you see the main casting director, for TV auditions. So you need to know who these people are. So we went over that in Louise's mastermind the other day as well. I'm going to start off by playing a clip. I'm going to read some comments when I get back. But this is a little chat that we had just on the pandemic, on the way casting has changed, and whether, and this is really interesting, I'd love to know your opinions on this tonight, on whether you think casting has changed forever, all right?
The casting process now, because of lockdown, has changed, I suppose, a little bit. You have access to more people than you would have had before. Do you think you'll keep that?
I think there will definitely be elements which we will keep and maintain and not assume won't work. Do you know what I mean? As in, like, you know, obviously we've had Skype recalls in the past because somebody's in Atlanta or wherever they are, or Scotland, and for some reason Zoom just feels better. It feels like we're kind of so used to it now. Skype felt a bit, I don't know, kind of clunky or something, but I do think that there'll be a sort of a, oh, I'm in Portugal, the director's in Portugal, and suddenly it's like a big, you know, it won't be a drama. We'll be able to sort of assume that it will be okay and it will run fine because we'll just dial you in, which we kind of had before, but I think that it's kind of embedded now. And you know, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we had, as I've been saying, you know, about all of these Zoom recalls, and like thinking about the cost and the energy and the travel which it would have taken, whether it was us going to maybe the UK and seeing a lot of actors over there, but then equally we dial people in from other parts. So probably 2/3 of the day would have involved the studio hire, if we were in London, and us traveling and planes and red eyes and parking costs and all that kind of stuff, which you don't mind, but it's exhausting, especially like we did a TV series last year, and like I was on a red eye every week, and it's like a Monday or Tuesday, and it's tiring and it's expensive. So I think there will have to be still that stuff, but I think that there'll also be a learning from this, won't there? That, like, you know, this works. It's less costly. It's a, you know, it's better for the environment. So yeah, I think it'll be both, but I think that's a really good question, actually.
Interesting, isn't it? So what do you reckon? Do you think because we have been forced into casting via Zoom, casting via self-tape a lot more, when this is all over, because it will be, I think that's something that we forget as well, and that's something that I'm seeing, like, the media almost forget. It's doing my head in right now. The news does my head in, without going off topic, in terms of, do you know what, this is what pisses me off, right? And this is also what I see us leaning towards as human beings if we're not in control of our minds, and in this industry as actors, right? I saw a headline in the news today that said 32% of consultants think the track and trace thing or something will not halt the spread of coronavirus, or will not slow down the spread of coronavirus. And they were playing on the 32%. Why didn't they create a headline that said 68% of consultants think the track and trace will slow down COVID-19, making people feel a bit better? Why are you focusing on the 32% who said it won't? And they didn't even say 32%. They said something like, they rounded it up and went over a third. You know, well, why aren't you saying 2/3 of people think it's going to go okay? And this is what people do if you're not careful. You focus on the chance of something not going well, and you make that louder than the chance of it going well, which is often greater. So you'll focus on the chance of screwing up an audition more than you will focus on the excitement and the elation of smashing it and getting that role. So the news is doing my head in. But because we have been forced into this kind of casting, do you think when this is all over, fingers crossed, first quarter of next year, maybe, I'm being a bit optimistic, but do you think we'll go back? Do you think we will just do, like you heard Louise there saying, you know, how much money we save with travel? Who's an actor in the North who hates spending 85 quid to go down to your audition in London at Spotlight for 10 minutes and then jump on and then have to wait? This is what I used to do. Have to wait for that 10 past 7 or 20 past 7 train home because it was the first cheap train home from London. So that would mean you had to sit in London for 4.5 hours in Euston Station with your phone charger plugged into the wall, just like waiting for your train. Tell me I'm not the only one who's done that. Surely everyone else has done that on here as well to save a little bit of cash, because your train ticket is like 500 quid if you don't go like after 7 o'clock. Do you think we will? Yeah. Do you think we will go back, or do you think we will keep all of this stuff? I think it's forced us to push forward in terms of technology and embrace it. Probably, I think we sped up. Like, it might sound a bit over the top, but I reckon like 5 years, 10 years worth of sort of embracing the online world. For people, there were people who spoke to me and said, "I will never, you know, like not want to go and be in the room with someone during an audition, or I will never not want to, you know, I'll never hold a conference call online when it comes to business. I always need to go and shake someone's hand and be in the room with them," who now have gone, "Oh my God, this whole kind of like getting out of bed, not having to travel, not having to spend the money, sitting around in airports and train stations and just walking into the spare room and turning the computer on is pretty good." I used to have to beg people when I started doing interviews with casting directors in 2013, 14 was when I started doing them online, and Zoom had just become a thing. Skype was getting established as well. And to actually tell people, hey, we're going to do this thing on Zoom, would petrify them. They would have no clue. Now, everything I do is on Zoom. So all of our mastermind sessions every week are on Zoom. And when I reach out to a casting director or an actor or an agent or whatever, and I say, hey, come and do this Zoom, they don't go, what's Zoom? They all know now. They all have it installed. So everybody is embracing it. So it'd be really interesting to see if we do go back. And loads of people are talking about that comment I made about the media, saying it's just the media just love to scare people. They do. We're served, statistically, we know this, 17 pieces of negative news for every 1 piece of positive news. Please don't buy into it. You know, and don't buy into the echo chamber of bullshit on Twitter and negativity around our industry right now, because it's completely unnecessary. There's so much to be grateful for and positive about in our industry right now. There's so much happening and progression being made that unfortunately a few influential voices who are headline readers who don't dive into the article to realize it's bullshit are jumping out and retweeting stuff and getting angry, and then all the people underneath that who think, oh, this person has a platform and, you know, is respected in the industry, I must agree with them. They're retweeting all that stuff and making that echo chamber of negativity louder. Please don't do it unless you really research what it is you're retweeting, because a lot of the time it's fake news. Caitlin stopped watching the news. She said, so negative. It is, isn't it? But I just thought, I was just laughing to myself when I read that headline, 32% think it won't work. I was like, why was that headline not 68% think it will work? Because would that not like really reassure the public and just reduce anxiety a little bit more than you just scaremongering the shit out of people? I've fallen out with the news, to be honest. Like, I just think they're shady organizations. All of them don't really like it. So let me know if you think that the world of casting will go back, you know, to how it was exactly, or will we just embrace more of the online world? I would like to think we would. Because I think, like I say, it can save people a lot of time, a lot of money, and I think casting directors as well. I don't know. I'd have to ask more of them, and we can ask Amy this tomorrow night on our mastermind session tomorrow night with Amy from Amy Hubbard's office. You know, can they see more people? Maybe they can cover more ground, because, you know, you're not waiting to schedule people in for 20 minutes, 25 minutes of time at Spotlight. You're just saying, send me your self-tape. Maybe they can take some more risks. I don't know. Maybe they can go, you know what, we'll see these 10 people who we wouldn't normally have seen. If their tapes are shit, we won't show them to the director. It doesn't matter. So I don't know. Maybe it will create more opportunity. I hope it would do, definitely. And Penelope says, yes, self-tapes, unfortunately, will still be happening. The days of social studio office castings are gone. Don't be sad, Penelope. Don't, honestly, this is what I mean. I think we need to embrace it, though. I think, imagine, Penelope, you get 2 auditions on one day and you can't go to one because one's in London, one's in Manchester, and the times clash. Now, if they're self-tapes, you can do both. I think it's to be embraced. I don't think it's to be upset about. I understand right now, social interaction full stop is missed. You know, I really miss social interaction, real social interaction. That cannot be substituted for. There's no amount of Zoom calls that can make hanging out with your friends, you know, better than hanging out with them in real life. That is just not a thing. You know, we're all going to need that. But castings, don't know. There's definitely something, you know, to be said about being in the room. You know, I love the way you can get your personality across. You can have a chat. You can really, you know, vibe people out and get to understand them a bit better. But I think in terms of logistics, you might be able to cover more ground with, you know, with the online world, really. But we shall see. It doesn't mean I want to do every casting online, though. I definitely want to go. I'd love to go see some people at some point. Now, for those who don't know how castings work online, because you might not have had one yet, all I've had is self-tapes. I've not had a live casting online yet done by Zoom whilst I'm filming myself, you know, so I'm getting direction from the director. But if you don't know how they work, this is how Louise, and I imagine most casting directors, conduct their you know, auditions online. And if you I don't know if anybody did, by the way, could you, if you haven't already, I did mention it before, didn't I? Could you share this broadcast if you're on Facebook, in the Facebook group, in the Acts on This Facebook group, and just anywhere else that you think would be worth sharing? Anywhere there's actors are. Here's how Zoom castings work with Louise's office, though. Really interesting.
Okay, so now's the time when I tell you how we run our Zoom recalls. So what we say to people in the invite, to the agent or to the actor, is that we will obviously be here the way we are, and then we would ask that you, in the same way you create a self-tape, is that you have a camera and a reader right there. So the expectation is that you have, like, your friend has to come around, or your partner, or whoever is there to read with you. So if you guys are, if I'm the actor and my reader is, so I don't want to be too far away from either, right? Do you know what I mean? So I probably that way there, the reader, as close as we can possibly get, so that when you give me direction, I'm going to read, my reader's going to press go, or I'm going to press go, and I'm going to record live, and then you're going to see me, and then you're going to say, please go again and give me some direction, and I'm going to go again, and my reader very patiently is going to be there and is going to record live. And then I, as a casting director, as I'm on the way Donna is here, that I will record the individual clips on Zoom as we know how, and those will be backups. So we don't record the entire session because we don't record the chat. It feels like, you know, we want to protect the privacy of that. But we will record the individual clips and we will have them as a backup. Sometimes the quality with Wi-Fi, obviously, as we know, is not great, and there can be a bit of a stall or a bit of a stick or whatever. So these clips that you then send to me via your agent, which we personally, you don't need to edit them all together. I don't need one big long version. Like, individual clips are fine. Send us all the takes, and then we will take them into our office and we will present them to the team. And what they are is beautiful tapes. Do you know what I mean? So we get the live. We don't rely on the internet, although we do as a backup, but we've got this system and this is great.
Sorry, you just caught me drinking tea out of a metal straw because I punched 3 of my own teeth out last week. It's all right, though. They're going to be back in. They're going to be back in next Wednesday. So that's how these are fake. These are plastic, these things you see on the bottom here. So that's how Louise does Zoom recalls. Okay, so it's quite interesting. And I hadn't thought of this, to be honest. I'd not really thought this through because it hadn't cropped up for me yet. So what she's saying is basically, if you get through, like, the first round, she'll mostly do through self-tapes right now, and you have a recall right now, that's probably still not going to be in the room, particularly if you're in the UK and Louise is still over in Ireland, you know, based out of Dublin. So what happens is she would get on Zoom with you, and you would have her, like, on Zoom here. So she would be looking at you via your camera, and you'd have her on Zoom here. But ideally, you would be shooting your audition yourself with a decent camera, okay? Your decent self-tape setup would be set up, and hopefully you would have a reader reading in for you. If not, and you don't have that in real life because you don't live with anybody, and you're currently in tier 3 and you can't have anybody around your house, then they would read in for you. One of the casting assistants at Louise's would read in, whilst Louise can still watch and direct you, so she wouldn't have her head in the script. So from there, what they do is they record the Zoom call as a backup, so they can have that if anything goes wrong with the clips you are recording here. But the idea is you still record in high quality. You're directed by Louise and her team on Zoom, and then they record that Zoom call as a backup. You edit your clips, send them over. Or in fact, Louise said you don't even need to edit the clips. They do it. The team does it for you. You just send all the clips that you've recorded, all of the takes, and then you still end up with beautiful self-tape, beautiful audition-style, well-filmed auditions, but it's all done and conducted on Zoom. Has anyone had that yet? I've not had that. Everything I've done over lockdown has been self-tapes. I've not had any recalls because I've not got any jobs. Had some really good auditions as well. Thought I was going to get another part in Brassic, didn't get it. When you think, right, I'm going to get this, and then I just want to see who got it now. I just can't wait for it to come out on TV. I almost got a regular part in Brassic in season 1. I was so close, and I got recalled. It's a story of my freaking life. I'm always number 2. I think literally all of the roles I've been up for that have been big, I reckon I've been second choice every single time. When am I going to be first choice? When, casting gods, am I going to be freaking first choice? Hopefully at some point. So they will read in, Lisa. I can see you in the chat there. So they'll read in for you if you don't have a reader. But ideally, it would be good to have a reader because then you would have an eye line. I mean, you can fake the eye line, can't you? You could stick a dot on the wall somewhere and have that as your eye line just to the right of the camera. But the idea is, you're filming yourself at home, and then they're just recording the Zoom call only as a backup. So these Zoom recordings are not your actual audition because, as Louise said, sometimes there is that lag. If the internet connection is not great, it can mean people's cues are a bit off. So it is better if you can to have somebody reading in for you if you live with somebody and you're allowed to have them in the same room as you, and then you can film the audition yourself. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Chris says I've had recalls. They read in for me on there, and all right, Chris, show off. He's had recalls. I've not had any freaking recalls. I need a recall. But yeah, I mean, that's amazing, man. And good luck to anyone who, there's a lot of people in here saying they've got Zoom auditions coming up. Brendan's got one coming up next week, 3 Zoom auditions, says Kathy. Everyone's smashing it. I mean, this is amazing to see them in it. And this is what I mean about focusing on everything that is right. Well, all you lot who are getting stuff, and it might go against what you kind of feel you can do right now, because I think there's a thing in Britain anyway that when times are tough, you don't really celebrate anything. You don't even really, you don't want to make other people feel bad or even worse because they're not doing something and you are. But I just feel that if people can just start talking more about the opportunities they are getting, that's going to lift everybody up because they're going to go, oh, stuff is happening. And you know what? It'll also wake people up a little bit as well. The people who have got a bit complacent and are like, oh, I'll just chill out to the end of the year. Nothing's going on. No, a lot is going on. Honestly, right now, there really is quite a lot going on. So might give you a kick up the ass, to actually seek some opportunity out yourself, because there is a lot happening. But you guys who are saying on here, you've got all this stuff going on, please talk about it a bit more, because I think I just think we need it. Just got to escape the negative Nancys that are just everywhere, just everywhere basically right now. Zoom said I had a Zoom. Zoom, no, I just called you Zoom, Alex. Zoom said he had a Zoom. Alex said he had a Zoom one today for the Octagon. Amazing, mate. That's brilliant. Good on you. I've had auditions, says Matt. Amazing, Matt. Who else has got stuff going on? David's had self-tapes. There's a lot of people in the chat right now who are doing bits, which is great. So yeah, no, I think that was just an interesting chat with Louise. And again, we go into it in way more depth in the main chat. If you want to get access to the recording, like I say, get your actonthis.tv membership. Get it before the 2nd of November. Don't wait until the price goes up. And claim the bonuses. If you want to commit to 12 months, you want to go all in on yourself, you get it dirt cheap. Literally, was it work out at £4.30 a week? I can't make it any cheaper than that. There's no one in the industry bringing you the biggest names for a 2-hour mastermind for £4.30. Like, there just isn't. Everyone else I see doing Zoom calls are like 20 quid. So do get your membership at onthis.tv/save if you are wanting to get in before the 2nd of November. Caroline's been recommended for a small part on a short film as well. Amazing. Dale says, what would the etiquette on recording another audition after the live Zoom audition has ended? What would be the etiquette on recording another audition after the live Zoom audition has ended? Do they match them up to what they have from Zoom, or would they welcome another take? Oh, mate, no, I mean, that's fine. No, so you could do what you wanted. You know what? If afterwards you, this is a good question actually, mate. 'Cause this is a good piece of advice. I have always said, if you feel you have another take in you at an audition, and they have said, "Oh, brilliant, thanks, that's great, we've got everything we need," please speak up for yourself and say, "You know what, I've just realised, I think I can just put a tiny different spin on that line there, and I think it's going to be much more effective. Do you mind if I have one more shot?" And any time I've ever asked that, there has not been a casting director in the land who has gone, no, you're a dickhead. Why do you want to do better? Get out. No one's ever said that, right? So Dale, it would still apply in my eyes anyway. If I thought, and I've done this on voiceover jobs where I've been directed over the internet to record a voiceover, and once that client has gone and they've okayed the audio that I've already recorded, as I've listened back, I've gone, wait a minute, I can pull that word out a little bit more. That would make more sense. That would make a better video for them. And I've re-recorded a line. And I've told them about it. I've gone, listen, I've just recorded line 4A for you because I think, you've got the original take, but here's 4A, the alternative version that I've done. I think it's better. So if you were to get off the Zoom call, they've recorded the call their end as a backup. They're never going to use that. Ideally, they never want to use that. And you're like, shit. Oh, you know what? Now I think I understand that line. Record it again, mate. Definitely 100%. As long as you can get someone to read in and it's a decent audition again, it's done well. It's got to be done like a real audition because the casting director is going to show those tapes to the director. So they're going to want it done as a proper audition, not just as an alternative weird one-liner. Definitely do it 100%. Remember, everything you do is this is your like material. This is your shop front. Like ultimately, this is what you are putting out into the world to go, hey, this is me. This is what I can do. If you think you can do better, do it again. Do better. It's absolutely your prerogative what you supply, the industry with in terms of how you wish to be seen. So really good question though, mate. That. But always speak up. If you're in the room and you feel you can do another one, the worst I can say is no. And in 15 years of auditioning in the room, no one's ever said no to me when I've asked. Even when it's been almost kind of like, right, let's get up and walk out. Particularly commercial castings. Actually, because commercial castings are a lot like a lot more free flowing. You can interpret briefs in a very different way. And I've very often gone, right, okay, we've got those two that you like. Let me just give you one that's a little bit different. And you don't have to use it, but I just think this might work. And no one's ever said get out. No, unless they're like really like 2 hours behind or something like that. No one's ever going to tell you like no. Definitely not. Alyssa said booked first audition back in July. Didn't have another one till last month, which I didn't get. So right now my success rate is 50%. Yeah, but you smashed that one, didn't you? You got an advert, didn't you? So 50% is a good hit rate. This year is not going to be normal. This entire year, I've done loads of voiceover actually because voiceover can be done from home. But I've done 4 episodes of Hollyoaks all year. That's literally all I have done for an entire year since January. And that, normally I'd do 4 or 5 jobs. You can't just let yourself off. It's very, very different kind of year. I think any jobs are a bonus this year. Still go out and get them. Try and get as many as you can. But the only goal for this year is to live. I mean, literally, it's as base as that. As long as you or a loved one are not on a ventilator right now, you are winning life. Please, just don't worry about auditions. Obviously, do your best to achieve if you feel like you want to right now. No pressure. But yeah, 50% is a decent hit rate, definitely. Caroline says, grab a membership if you haven't already. Thank you, Caroline. Appreciate that. All right, Stace, hope you are well. Thanks for being here. I've got one more clip to play out from Louise's Mastermind, and then I'm going to show you what's going on tomorrow night. Again, if you're not a member, you're going to want to get your membership and get involved with this tomorrow night. But this last clip is an interesting question. And again, I don't know the answer because I've never done one, and I'd love to know if you have. But we were talking because of the online nature of the world right now and auditions. A big part of Normal People, the show that Louise cast and got the Emmy nomination for, was the chemistry between Daisy Edgar-Jones and Paul Mescal. And you cannot deny it's pretty electric, innit? Like, it really is. The chemistry is very real between those two people. And isn't it really interesting? The different, you know what? I mean, I can't even I think about this a lot in terms of the relationships with people on a film set, on a TV set, and how some are so electric and some aren't. And I think there's a real difference. And I think this is the same in relationships in real life, like intimate relationships with other people. How you can find real deep connections with certain people that you just can't with others, and it's kind of like you can't quite put your finger on it. And I think there is a difference between connection and chemistry, and I think they're two different things. I think you can have a connection with someone that far surpasses the chemistry, and then the chemistry. I don't know, the chemistry I think you can have with anybody. I think connection is very different. Connection is something you have with very few people, but luckily, you don't need connection with everyone on a film set because you're acting, so it's fine. You only need the chemistry. And we were talking about whether chemistry tests, and if you've never done one of these, what it is basically if you're going to be teamed up with someone, either a lover in a series or a film, or a family member or something like that. You can go, if you get through to like the very, very last round of auditions, you generally have to go and do a chemistry read or a chemistry test. And this is to see what you are like in the room together, how you gel with each other, bounce off each other, and also what you look like together on screen as well. A lot of it comes off physicality and, sort of how you look on camera. And we were talking about, can chemistry tests be done online? Like, can you really get that chemistry with someone? Not that connection, because that's probably even harder, but that chemistry with someone on a Zoom audition. And I'm like, I don't know if you can, but Louise is like, yeah, we're having to do it, and here's how we do it. So we had a little chat about that. Here's just a little snippet of it.
What's the process of sort of testing chemistry before you actually cast the actors?
Okay, so it starts, obviously they start separately, don't they? Do you know? And then I suppose what we were talking about earlier is that you'll kind of shortlist and you'll bring in, say, three of the one character, three of the other character, and sort of put them together and see how they fizz and how what the energy's like. And then, of course, living in these times, it sort of has delivered us a new challenge, hasn't it? So maybe 6 months ago, I might have said, oh my goodness, we could never test chemistry on the internet with two people in two different countries. But actually, we've had to do that, do you know? And it works. It's kind of amazing as long as the connection is good enough. I mean, you can't replace having two people in the same room, of course, we know that. But, we roll with the punches and we do what we need to do. And so nowadays, in a not unsimilar situation as we're doing now, we would have you guys read opposite each other and just see how it goes.
How long will you give people online to sort of like get to know each other, I guess?
No, yeah, that's it. I mean, the short answer is I don't know. Do you know what I mean? As in, because we're still so new to it. Yeah. I mean, we had a situation there recently where there was an actress and she was auditioning with two people to play. Now it was slightly different because it was like a mother-child sort of relationship, and we had a few options on the child, and we had obviously the lady playing the role, and I was fairly brief, but I mean the director was on a recce, and we knew the actors and we'd met the actors, and all of the young people were brilliant, so we were confident that they were all able for it. And then we just took these little moments. I mean, maybe they had half an hour each, and it was very clear at the end which worked best.
Very interesting, isn't it? But you know what? Nicola makes a great point in the chat. Nicola was like, you know what? I think you can create chemistry online, because she says, look at all of us in the Acts on This community. We've only ever met virtually. I've made friends with folk I've never personally met, but I know that there is a connection there. Yeah, you know what? Absolutely, completely agree. I think if you're given enough time, and I think as an actor, whenever I've done a chemistry test in real life, if I've actually prepared, and normally, you know what? It's actually all right, because you're generally so far into the audition process, you've already been recalled at least once. So you're generally only doing the same scenes again. So you know when you've done a scene in the initial audition, you kind of know it. You've done enough work to to know it. By the time it comes to the recall, you really know it. And then by the time it comes to the chemistry read, you don't even really. You take the script with you, but you don't really need it. And then you can actually focus on the chemistry. So I think if you've really nailed the lines in the prep, even online, you can focus on that chemistry that's there, on that potential connection that is there. And Louise was talking about connection there. She meant your internet connection, not your connection with the person, but the internet connection is equally as vital as well. But it is interesting, isn't it? And it's something to think about, because it's something that for a little while you might get asked to do. So it's better to know now that this is happening and that you can prepare for it, and think about how you would get ready for something like that. Because you never know. You don't know what could happen this week. Brand new week, you could get the call. Interesting, isn't it? But like I say, if you want to, they're just 3 clips you've seen tonight. That was just 6 minutes of a 2-hour mastermind chat with Louise Kiely. Absolute legend. And in her accent, lovely. I love Irish accents. I love all accents, to be honest with you. We all think everyone else's accent's cool except our own, don't we, really? Fantastic mastermind session, 2 hours of just cracking chat. actonthis.tv /save, get your membership. You will then get access to the full recording in video format and audio format, along with, in the premium membership, like 400 hours worth of these mastermind sessions that we've done with the biggest names in the industry, the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers. We do this every single week. You'll see all of these sessions here. Literally a better training than any drama school, any book, any acting class in the world can give you for 100th of the price. Don't go and spend £50,000 on a drama school degree, because if I was going in like this day and age, I would have spent that, and I guarantee you it wouldn't be as good education as you get on actonthis.tv, because I've been there and I've done that, and it absolutely wasn't. So that was Louise. Now, tomorrow evening, we've got another special guest, because obviously we do this every single week. So tomorrow night, we are going to be joined for a member-only mastermind session with the amazing Amy Rain Jackson. We're going to be joined by Amy Rain Jackson tomorrow night. She is casting associate right now for Amy Hubbard Casting. Obviously, I don't really need to tell anyone about Amy Hubbard. Amy Hubbard is literally casting royalty, cast the biggest shows in the world, from the very famous Hubbard family, Dan Hubbard, their mum and dad, Roz and John, like a casting dynasty. We've had Dan Hubbard on for a mastermind. He's amazing. We've got Amy coming on tomorrow evening. If you want to get involved with this, get yourself over to actonthis.tv /live. In fact, let me show you the webinar schedule, because we've got some really, really cracking guests over the next 3 weeks. I only put 3 weeks up at a time because I don't want to show you what's going on until Christmas, but I guarantee you're going to be loving it. Like, seriously, it's really, really good. actonthis.tv /live. Again, you can get your membership from here if you want, but if you go to actonthis.tv /save, you'll get all the deals. This is tomorrow night, casting mastermind with Amy Rain Jackson. But then next week, we have got Emmerdale Casualty, actually Doctors director as well, Holby City director, Ruth Carney. She's amazing. I worked with Ruth when I filmed Doctors. She's coming on the week after next. That's Bonfire Night, the 5th of November. Don't go and have a bonfire, because this is going to be more explosive. I'll tell you that for nothing. It's going to be a mastermind session with Ruth, who is lovely, so knowledgeable. She's been directing serial drama for, I think, about the last 4 years. She's currently directing Emmerdale, literally, as we speak today. And she's going to be talking all about directing serial drama, working with actors in serial drama. She actually runs her own acting academy as well. So we're talking about that, and just her opinions and experiences around the casting process for serial drama. Ruth and all directors of serial drama will get to sit with the casting directors as casting sessions are happening. If you can get to know directors really well and establish relationships with them, that is absolutely a legitimate way of how you will get auditions in serial drama, because they absolutely have the say. They can say to the casting director, hey, listen, bring Elizabeth in for this, bring Brendan in for this, bring Alex in for this, Caitlin in for this. Come and get to know Ruth on this mastermind session. She's awesome. And then the week after that, we have got the amazing Doctor Who's companion right now, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. Her companion plays Yaz in Doctor Who. We got Mandip Gill coming on for an acting mastermind, talking all about her journey in the industry, how she's ended up, in such an iconic role in Doctor Who. And she's just freaking lovely. I met Mandip, 10 years ago, filming Hollyoaks. Do you know what? That was such a long time ago. And I didn't even tell her this, but she was the only one. Hollyoaks is a really, really busy place, okay? In terms of, you go in the green room in Hollyoaks, the cast is so big, people are in and out all the time. Mandip was the only one, she's just so good-mannered, who, when I was in there, got off the settee and went, do you want to sit down? Because I was like new, I was just one of the day players. And I was like, no, it's cool. You can totally have the seat. But I just thought that speaks volumes of someone where everyone else is just sat there. She went out of her way to make someone who was new to Hollyoaks feel really welcome, feel at home. And she's just a cracking person. She's just really, really nice. So it's going to be a really interesting one. And we can talk all about, shooting Doctor Who. She's going to Cardiff to shoot it, I think, this week. She starts filming it next week. So that's going to be a really interesting one. So the next 3 weeks of Masterminds, as I say, they're available to any member of actonthis.tv. Get your membership. You don't pay anything extra to get access to those things. It's part of your membership. You'll also get this Friday, innit? We've got a Rapid Fire Friday Q&A call for members. And then next Saturday, we're going to have the social meetup because it's going to be November, innit? It just goes so freaking fast. Where is this year gone? That's crazy. And then it's going to be Christmas. Oh, Christmas is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? We're all going to be having a Zoom Christmas. Who's up for having a Boxing Day social, member-only Boxing Day drinks social on Zoom? Homemade eggnog, mince pies. Let's just get drunk and merry on Zoom on Boxing Day because we'll probably all be away from our families. So we'll have our Acts on This family get-together. That'll be a good laugh. So yeah, come and get involved with that if you want. I'm going to play Amy Rain Jackson's trailer to finish, but we've got 10 minutes to do some Q&A, so I won't play that yet. Let's do some Q&A until 5 to, and then I'll play the trailer, and then we'll finish, pretty much promptly at 10 o'clock tonight. Everyone's saying yes in the chat for the eggnog. Who makes eggnog? Do you know, when my brother made eggnog once with his mate Simon, it was like rocket fuel. I had a sip of it, I was shaking. Not even joking, I was actually shaking around Simon's house watching the Royal Family Christmas special. And that is, for those international members, that is not the Royal Family. Like the Queen, we had a sitcom over here called The Royal Family, spelled Royle. An incredible show. Caroline Aherne and Craig Cash wrote it. Just two absolute legends of comedy. And yeah, I remember watching the Royal Family on Boxing Day around my mate Si's house, having one sip of eggnog, just shaking, going, "What is in this? It's ridiculous." So let us know if you're up for that. We'll definitely do that. That'll be a good laugh, won't it? So let's do some Q&A for 10 minutes. Anybody need anything? Has anyone got any questions? Any roadblocks right now that you're facing in your acting career? Anybody kind of like, stuck, not knowing where to turn or what to do, or maybe you're struggling with a certain element, or you just need some advice. There's loads of them on here. If I can't answer it, someone in this chat is going to be able to answer it. So let's see how we can help each other tonight. If you do need help, let us know. And Mary's got an epic recipe for eggnog. Amazing. Elizabeth says, message me if you are. Who's having coffee and chats on Wednesdays? Who's having that? And and Sandra's making eggnog as well. I need to get my eggnog on, definitely. I'll well be up for that, without a doubt. Huge thank you to Ross for helping me with my email address. Oh yeah, that was something that, you know what? It might not just be you, Elizabeth, as well. This might be other people fall for this, because I see this occasionally when people email me. Make sure, this might sound obvious, guys, but if you've not set it up initially, or you're not super tech savvy and you didn't realize you had to, just look in your email, send yourself a test email, and just see what name pops up in the in the inbox and when you receive an email from yourself. Because Elizabeth emailed me, and it was set as the default name, which was just BT Internet. So, if BT Internet just shows up in your inbox, you might just think that it's from BT and it's spam, and you might delete it. Because Elizabeth was like, no one's replying to, no casting directors replying to my emails. So she sent me an email, and it didn't come up Elizabeth McNally, it came up BT Internet. So I was like, you need to go into your email alias in your email program, and you need to change that. And you did it, Elizabeth, and you sent me another email, and it was absolutely fine. But that, it sounds basic, but it's not. You only know what you know, don't you? So make sure that your name is coming up as your name. It's not coming up as just your email address. Some people put their email alias as their email address. So you don't want, Johnny Actor johnny@gmail.com popping up as your name. You want it to be Johnny, whatever your name is. Just something that seems small but can make a big difference, particularly if it says BT Internet, because I think, Elizabeth, they might have just thought that was a BT promo email and deleted you. Hopefully they won't anymore. Nicola says, could I plug a wee side hustle? I'm writing for a magazine, and my first article is going live on our Facebook page this week. The magazine is called Scottish Film and Television, SFT Magazine. Would love it if you guys could give it a wee read. I love the way you keep saying wee. Not a wee read, just give it a read when it's out. Okay, so you're going to have to link, Nicola, in the chat now to the Facebook page where it's at. You know, I mean, people can search for Scottish Film and Television if you want, but make it easy for them. Put a link to the Scottish Film and Television Facebook page. If you are particularly Scottish and you're interested in film and television, you should like that page anyway. And of course, Nicola, we will, we will support that. No problem. You just you post that article when it comes out. I think that's great though, and they're paying you for that. If you say it's a side hustle, I'm guessing they are. So it's cracking. If you're getting paid to write about film and TV, what's better than that? Unless you hate film and TV, in which case that would be a terrible job. How can you tell if a video is on private or public that you want to edit, says David. Okay, David, so that depends on the platform that it's on, mate. If it's on YouTube, you can set the publishing parameters to either private, unlisted. If it's private, it means that no one can look at it unless you... I just think no one can look at it unless they're you. If it's unlisted, it won't appear in search results, but you can send people a link. So only people who have the link can see it. And then it can be public, in which case anybody can search for it and it'll come up in search results. If it's on Facebook, you can set the privacy of your post in normally the bottom right-hand corner or the top right-hand corner of the post, depending on where you've posted it. And you can change the privacy settings on a per-post basis. So if you normally keep your entire profile private and you just want to make one of your posts public so it can be shared, then you can do that on a per post or a per video basis. Because a lot of people fall foul of this. They make all their content private on their Facebook profile, and then when they go and share their showreel or whatever it is in a Facebook group, if people in that group are not friends with that person, they will not see that content. It will say content cannot be displayed because they've set that to private. So you want to, if you're sharing something from your page, make sure you change the privacy settings of that post. Or what I would always just recommend is don't ever just share shit from your page. Take the effort to re-upload it to a brand new post within that Facebook group or that Facebook page or wherever it is, and acknowledge the group. If it's the Acts on This Facebook group, please don't just share a post lazily from your Facebook page with no introduction, no text, just the post, because the moderators in the Facebook group have been told to delete that shit. I just don't want it, because if you can't take the time, and I mean it with love, but if you don't have the respect for the people in the group to tell them what this thing is and why they should be interested in looking at it and why they should share it potentially, then ain't no one got time for that. So it's better to post it again as a fresh picture or a fresh video within the group, and then say, hey, Acts on This members or Acts on This Facebook group, here's my new short film. In it, I play such and such a body who goes through blah, 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 blah. I also help with the writing in it, and we crowdfunded it like this. If anybody needs help crowdfunding, please reach out anytime. I've got loads of experience with this now. That's going to get you so much more traction on your content as opposed to just a completely anonymous, almost anonymous anyway, just like a post that's shared, because it's Facebook's fault, because Facebook makes it really easy to share to a million groups at once with no effort. But I just think it's lazy, and I don't like it. So, it's like a little child in it. I don't like it, but I just don't like it. I like people to acknowledge people. I just think it's polite. I know I post a lot of the Acts on This stuff in many, many Facebook groups, and so does Petch. But you will notice, at the very least we do, is acknowledge the name of the group within the first line of the post. So we'll say, hey, Actors UK, or hey, Scottish and Film Television Group, or whatever. Just because I think it's polite. People will far more, read it far more. They'll take more notice of it, I think, if you do that. So that's how you do it, David. It just depends on where you're posting it, mate. But yeah, make sure stuff is public if you want other people to share it. Wayne says, first time here as I'm new, join member. Nice one, Wayne. Thanks for being here, dude. soaking up the info for now. Well, you just reach out, Wayne, anytime you need any help, mate. And we do this every Monday. These are just like public, free kind of broadcasts. But come and get involved. If you're a member of Acts on This now, come and get involved. Tomorrow night with Amy Rain Jackson, I'm going to play the trailer out in 2 minutes' time. And if you're the first, if you're a brand new member, mate, and you've not been here before, we'll get you on camera tomorrow night. We'll let you have a little chat with Amy. That's something that members get to do. Obviously, there's a lot of people on the broadcast. We sometimes have 150 people coming through the broadcast on an evening. Not everybody stays for the whole thing. But we get roughly, 7-8 members on each broadcast. So again, please don't give me a hard time, please, if you don't get brought on. I think I always try and bring as many people onto the calls and as varied, varied different people, each call as well. I'll sometimes pick out people who I think are particularly relevant for a guest, but I just do my best. And when there's 150 people on there, it is just impossible. It's nothing personal. If you don't get on, I just try and make it as far as I can. And I always, even if I can't get you on camera, I will try my best at the end of a session to do rapid fire on the questions that are still left behind in the Q&A box. So please be understanding, and also just be patient and listen to other people. Let me know. This is just one other piece of feedback. Is the chat on the live broadcast distracting? Do we not have it, basically, so you can actually really listen to the guest and not be... Because I don't watch the chat. I don't take in the chat. It goes a million miles an hour. I can't watch the text chat, have a coherent conversation, run the technology to bring people on camera, and sift through the Q&A box to get relevant questions all at once. I'm just a mere mortal. I'm just a man, right? If I was a woman, I could probably multitask it, because you ladies are very good at that. But as men are pretty simple, or me particularly, I am. I can't talk for all men. But I can do one thing at a time, basically, right? So the chat, I see it going just whizzing past. And I don't know what you're all talking about in there and that sort of stuff. Hopefully it's all relevant and it's on topic. Because it better be, because the guest gets a copy of the chat log. But do we need it? Do you need it? Do you want it? Or would it be easier, and would you be able to concentrate more if we just had the Q&A box and not the chat? Let me know. And Hayley is new as well. Hayley, you come and get involved tomorrow night as well. I noticed you just signed up for your membership earlier today. Loving the positivity on here, just fabulous. If you're not great on social media and basically hate it, how can you get around this as an actor? By getting involved with the community. Basically, we'll help you with it. Get involved. We got the rapid fire Q&A question on Friday. Come and get involved with that at 4 p.m. this Friday. Jump on camera with me, and I can give you a little crash course in an area this week. Next week, we'll just keep building it up. Basically, if you wanted to, you don't have to do this because I know you just signed up for your membership. But if you want to get an annual membership, you actually get a bonus of something called Social Media Deep Dive, which was a 10-hour in-depth social media training program that me and a guy called Ollie Reynolds did this time last year. We sold tickets to it for 197 quid. But if you get a yearly membership for Acts on This, and you can upgrade from your monthly membership now to yearly, I will give you that for free. And that's part of the bonuses. If you go to actsonthis.tv/save, it'll cost you 224 quid for the year. So it'll be about, what will that be? Like 6 quid cheaper or something like that a month than you pay on your monthly membership. And you will get Social Media Deep Dive that was 197 quid for free. And you get the Acts on This Ultimate Contacts database, which we aren't going to sell, but if I was, would be about 150 quid. It took us 30 hours to create. All the bonuses about and all that information about that is actsonthis.tv/save. And anyone could do that. If you're a current premium member and you pay monthly, and maybe you pay your 24 quid a month, and you want to upgrade to a yearly membership to get those bonuses, you don't have to. I'm not here to sell you that. I'm not. I want to look after you guys, and just you can keep your membership just the same. It's fine. Your membership will never go up in price. But if you want to get a yearly membership to get those bonuses before the 2nd of November, you can do. That's a little promo I'm running, for the time being. So actsonthis.tv/save if you want to check that out. So you could do that, Hayley, if you wanted a course on it. Or if you just want to come and get involved with the rapid fire Q&A, the Q&A calls that we do every other Friday for members, come and have a chat, and I can I'll help you as much as I possibly can. Any more? Because it's 2 minutes to 10. Let's have a look. 60 more seconds. Let's see. Dougal, hope you're well, mate. Dougal's just joined us. Good to see you, dude. Most of the time it's great, says Alicia. Some culprits repeat same stuff, but you can just turn it off yourself, says Alicia about the chat. Yeah, it's just, like I say, I just don't know how You can just turn the chat off yourself, says Chris. So you can, is that, because I've never really been an attendee. I always run it as the host, so I don't know like if the chat just appears on your screen. It has its pros and its cons, says Dougal. I find it a bit distracting, so don't get involved, says Jill. That was my only concern, Jill, is I'm like, I don't want people to miss really salient pieces of advice because they were just having a social chat on the webinar chat, on the mastermind chat. And that's why I thought, should I don't want to just take it off you guys, but I just thought I'd ask for some feedback. And let us know. We'll keep it on for tomorrow night. But I'll try and I'll keep a little eye on it. I never look at it. Nothing against you guys. Like I say, I just can't do everything at once. And the chat is just there for the attendees. It's not really there for me. So yeah, let's see how we go on that. Right. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. There's no other questions there. That all looks good. Amazing. It looks like it's all good. If I have missed anything tonight, please just reach out. Tweet me at @OnThisTV, at Ross A. Grants. Drop a post in the Acts on This Facebook group. Or if you are a premium member, we have a premium forum over at actsonthis.tv as well, where you can get me anytime you want on there. I will try and reply, as fast as I can. Or we have moderators on there as well. Who else wants to be a moderator? I'm going to need more help, basically. If you want to be a moderator on the forum at actsonthis.tv, let me know. I can give you some moderating privileges. Don't let the power go at your head and start deleting everybody. but yeah, I just can't do it on my own anymore. The community, thankfully, I'm very grateful, has just grown. It's far bigger than I am. I can't do it all on my own anymore. So would love for you to get involved. I'm going to play you what's happening tomorrow night, okay? If you get your membership before tomorrow night, you can come and join in this. It's going to be absolute fire. Amy RAINE Jackson is Amy Hubbard's casting associate. She's bloody lovely, one of the nicest people in the industry. They're all so nice. This industry's full of amazing people, and you can come dive into Amy Hubbard's office, not literally. We're going to discuss exactly what's going on there at the moment, the team, how casting works there, how you can get on the radar of the team, what you need to do, outreach, email, all that good stuff, plus the opportunity for you to jump on camera, well, a few of you to jump on camera and get your questions answered live. So here's the trailer. Until tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. this. I'll see you guys there. Lots of love. I can do anything for you in the meantime, let me know. And until then, bye for now. The invites keep on coming, actors. I am back again, and I want to invite you to another ActOnThis.tv live mastermind session. This time, it's taking place on Tuesday, the 27th of October at 7:30 p.m. with this incredible special guest right now, currently residing as casting associate to the phenomenal casting director, Amy Hubbard. It's Amy RAINE Jackson. Amy, thank you so much for joining us. What are we going to be covering on Tuesday?
What are we going to be covering? We are going to be covering kind of my getting into casting, I guess, and the inner workings of Amy Hubbard casting. I want to keep it nice and positive and give you guys kind of a positive way of looking at the industry in this weird time that we are living in.
Absolutely. We're keeping everything super positive, super optimistic in the ActOnThis.tv community. We have a zero tolerance policy, Amy, to negativity. We have none of that at all. If you guys want to get involved with this, you want to literally have a chat with me and Amy, jump on camera, ask your acting career questions, auditioning, casting, what's going down at Amy Hubbard Casting right now. Anything basically, I always say this, anything that's going to help you get further faster in your acting career. There are no stupid questions, bar the questions you don't ask. So come and ask whatever you want. If you want to get involved, get yourself over to actonthis.tv/live for full details of this webinar and all future webinars as well. And Amy, everyone gets this question. Bit of pressure on you. Why don't actors want to miss this mastermind in particular?
Because who doesn't want positive vibes, guys?
Absolutely. Positivity, power. Definitely be there. actonthis.tv/live. Positivity and optimism all the way. Bye for now.